All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Sports Yak channel on YouTube. We're doing our weekly Premier League rankings. As you can see, we have Ali on the screen. How are you doing, bro?
Good. How are you, man?
How does it feel to Liverpool's back in back in contention?
I hope it stays that way. But I mean, we're grinding out results. It's not convincing still, but it's good to have the results when you're not playing convincing.
Yeah, it's true. Especially with like the injuries and the red card and all that stuff. Liverpool's kind of had a weird start to the season, and that like somebody gets a red card like every other game.
Yeah. I mean, I think our defense obviously needs some work, though I will say Kwanzaa, like he's been putting a shift, like deputizing for Van Dyke, but our attack is good. I will say that. And
Yeah.
Soboslai's addition and McAllister's addition in the midfield is like definitely like improved that aspect of the team compared to last year.
Who was the third midfielder over the weekend? Was it still Endo or was it somebody else?
It was Curtis Jones, McAllister, and Soboslai.
Okay. So how did he play like DM, or I guess you guys didn't really need to.
I don't. That's what I've been saying. Like, because like I kind of had a feeling losing out on Lavia and like even Lavia himself. Like he's a DM, but I wouldn't call him like a proper DM. Is that like I knew we'd be able to adapt. Like Klopp's a good coach. I knew like he'd have a way where although we don't have like a fixed DM, we can still have like all three midfielders putting in a shift in defense and attack. Kind of similar to Newcastle, though I would say like perhaps Guimaraes is more defensive than like let's say McAllister and Soboslai, but I feel like McAllister and Soboslai both have it within them to like just be all around.
Yeah, that's true. You saw it in the Newcastle game, especially when who was it that got a red card? Van Dijk got a red card, right? And then Szoboszlai was basically playing like box to box.
Yeah, he did that. I believe against Chelsea too. We got a red card, right?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
McAllister got a red card in one of the games as well. I forget.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, it wasn't Chelsea. It was Bournemouth.
Okay. But yeah, I mean it's kind of hard to argue. Like Man City looks like the best team. Do
Yeah.
you question the number one, or like, you're fine with it?
Nah, it has. They have to be number one,
Yeah.
and they have to
Uh,
be on not only number one. They have to be like on a league of their own. Like there shouldn't be like you. You made a good point just putting one and then two through five because Man City is undisputedly number one.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, like you, like me, like I'm just hoping that somebody gets a draw against them or like scores a couple goals against them. But even if they do concede, it's like 5 minutes later they're scoring again. I think it was Sheffield. I think like Walker made a mistake and Sheffield scored, but then Rodri like it's a banger like 5 minutes later.
Yeah, it's crazy, and like we thought like oh Man City's weaker. They're losing Mahrez. They're losing Gundogan. But
Even
Guardiola
De
just
Bruyne,
either
yeah,
De Bruyne's injured too. Like that's Guardiola just knows how to like respond to those type of things. He'll replace them with quality, and even the players who like let's say they don't replace them fully, but the players will improve. Like look at
yeah. I
Jeremy
mean,
Doku. We knew he has talent, but like we didn't know like he'd just be able to settle in so quickly in City.
yeah. I mean, if I was Grealish, like he's taking my left wing spot basically.
And that's great because that means Grealish is now going to have to improve his game and try to win his spot back.
Yeah, for he was a good deal, right? Only like 40 million. So if you bring in competition, I know Grealish was 100 million, but like Guardiola doesn't see it that way. He's still looking for, even in Grealish's first season and play him that much, because he's looking for what's best for the team right now or for the long term as well.
Yeah, and he does a good job of like always making it seem like it's not like no player in that team feels safe of their spot in the team. Maybe
Except for
Haaland,
like
but
Holland, yeah.
he's an exception. He's an exception.
But even in that first game, I forget, it was like I think they were up 2-0 or something. I forget who they're playing, and he was arguing with Guardiola was arguing with Holland like going into the locker room.
Yeah, I mean that'll happen, but Haaland is just even for Guardiola, he's someone who has like abilities that no one else has. Like
Yeah, but yeah. Even Guardiola, he's like the master motivator. Like even after winning a treble, it's like they're still like everybody's still fighting. Like it's like their first game of the season or first introduction to that team.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like except for Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, and imagine like he's still playing for England. He's still a decent player. There's it's just the competition's insane in Manchester City.
Yeah, I mean they played West Ham, which was the fifth team that I had before this game week. I thought West Ham actually did pretty well. Like they were aggressive on the counter. They sat back pretty good. They conceded some dumb goals though, which was obviously the problem, especially that second one. But
Yeah.
I feel like West Ham's like they just look like they're solid.
Yeah, I think Moyes, what he's doing tactically, it's surprising, but it's working out well. Because they're a team that really could counter. They have a lot of like weapons up top. And they also have a lot of good providers like Ward Prowse and Paqueta. So they're
Yeah,
always going to be dangerous in the attack. And usually, when you hold a team back, or when a team is attacking you for a long time, and you're just absorbing that pressure, it just makes the counter attack more deadly because the team won't be ready for it. And with West Ham's like pretty good attack, it's like they'll do well.
do you think we should keep them fifth or drop them down a little bit? Because that
I think
number 16 wants to jump up real bad.
yeah, that's tough. I'd say they're I'd say Brighton definitely plays better.
Yeah,
And I think Brighton's like I know Man United's not in the same like they're not playing the way they should be, but beating Manchester United away from home is like a big message.
yeah,
So I don't know. Maybe you can reward them fifth.
yeah.
I would
Especially
say
after
so.
this past week.
And like that was without Solly March and Evan Ferguson. Also, like he's still struggling with injury.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But in terms of, I guess like yeah, that was the other big game of the weekend was Brighton versus United. Uh, United just looked terrible in terms of like defending. They like their attack looks decent. Like Rashford had a couple chances. Hoyland almost probably should have scored one like across the box that he got squared to. But like it just looks too easy for defenses to rip them apart. For all their offenses to rip their defense apart.
yeah. I mean, I also question Ten Hag's like just the way he manages the team. Not even in terms of like tactics, but like player management, like man management. Because I'm wondering, like Sancho's not even in the squad for a game like this, and your attack is struggling. So it just doesn't make sense, like what's going on there. Because Sancho, like we all know his quality. Like he may not be performing in Manchester United right now, but like in Dortmund, he was putting up numbers that you would think that with proper management and a good coach, he'd be able to replicate that in the Premier League.
Yeah. And he was playing in the preseason, which is weird because I think that's why he got mad and like released a statement and then Ten Hag said he's out of the squad because I felt like he and then you see like Anthony obviously has some legal issues going on right now as well. So they had to play, I think who are they playing? They're playing Bruno Fernandez, I think, on the right. But they
Yeah,
brought on like Palistri and they brought on like another young guy like Hannibal. So they're like they're kind of reaching. Their bench looks like pretty bad when you actually look at their lineups.
yeah. I mean, I don't. I know he's a strict coach, but there's also you have to draw the line. Like I still believe the way he treated Ronaldo wasn't like smart. Like, come on, Ronaldo was one of the main players last year. They say he dropped off a lot, but he didn't drop off that much, where he wouldn't
I
play
think
any
he's better
role.
than Martial.
Well, yeah, look at that, and let's see how Hoyland does. I think he's decent, but I don't know if he's going to be the person who answers United's problems in the top.
Yeah. Obviously they brought in Amrabat. We haven't obviously seen him play yet. That was a pretty good signing for the transfer window,
Yeah,
but to bring in some solidity in the midfield. But how would you feel about that Mason Mount signing?
it's definitely not working out for them right now. I mean, initially when they got him, I thought it was decent. Like, I know Mount is versatile. He can like he can play in the holding positions if maybe there's a more defensive player with him. Obviously, he can play the role that Bruno plays. He won't be playing that because Bruno's there unless there's an injury. And I don't remember in Chelsea he played well on even the left side, but as of right now, it's just not working out for him, and like his form from last year is continuing onto this year.
Yeah, and then obviously he got injured as well. So yeah, I think yeah, Liverpool's fair for second. Arsenal grinded out a good win against Everton. Uh, Everton, they're not really like trying to play like that much good football. They're just trying to defend and
Yeah,
hopefully
I
hit you on the
trust.
counter with like one guy or two guys.
Yeah, I know how that feeling is playing when Liverpool plays them. It's frustrating, and honestly, getting a win when they're playing like that is great. I think it's arguable whether you put Arsenal above Liverpool or not. Personally, I might put them above Liverpool just because, like, I'd say they're more solid all around than Liverpool, and Liverpool, I feel like, still have more questions to answer. But yeah, I mean, both teams like are fantastic right now, but still have some catching up to do to City.
Yeah. I think the main thing why I had Liverpool ahead of Arsenal, what made me put them ahead of Arsenal a couple of weeks ago was like the Newcastle win and then the Aston Villa win, where they're just like, I think that's better opposition, like quality opposition that than Arsenal have faced so far. So I think that's why I did it.
It's fair.
Yeah. Plus they, obviously grind out the win against Newcastle down to 10 men, and
Yeah, I mean,
then
all these games are just like I get it. Newcastle's a solid team, but like all these games are like struggles.
yeah. I mean, you could say about the same about Arsenal. Like a lot of them are just 1-0 wins.
Yeah,
Which makes sense now because, like, teams are just sitting back.
yeah, and they're also improving in general. Like I mean, like teams that were mediocre before, like they have so like great players in their team, like because the Premier League is just able to get like attract the top talent from other leagues.
Yeah,
Like look at
like
West
Nottingham
Ham, like
Forest.
they have like that. Yeah, Forest. You can be almost in the bottom of the table and still have great players in your team.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think, Spurs, I didn't really watch much of that game because it was at the same time as, United versus Brighton. How about you?
I watched a decent amount of it. Spurs are good. Even when they were struggling to score, they were the first half was iffy, but definitely in the second half when they had to score, like they were making many chances and they were honestly pretty unlucky. But yeah, they grinded out the win. I think this was their least convincing performance of the season, but like in their other performances, they were great. And I think James Madison there is like completely changes them. He didn't get like a goal or assist this time like he did the other games, but he could have easily had one. Like he's just involved like a lot, and a lot of their attacks just are revolved around him.
Yeah. I think yeah, it would have made sense for somebody like Chelsea because I feel like Chelsea's missing that creativity up top. Like, they don't I guess they have, like
No,
I don't know about Enzo. Like, Enzo is, like
no
he's kind of a weird player to me. Like, he obviously, he's good at passing, but he doesn't do much else besides that.
he's just a solid. He's like a hybrid defensive midfielder and like kind of attacking, but he's not like he's not suited for any of those roles. Like just just that. Like he's not a full out holding mid, and he's not a full out attacking mid. So he's not going to be as creative as like players like Madison and Paqueta, even like Sobel like De Bruyne. Like he's not going to Bruno Fernandez or Odegaard. He's not going to be like that, and he's not also going to be defending. He can defend well, but he's not going to defend like how Casemiro defends, like how Rodri defends, Bryce. Like, but he's a definitely a good player to have in the team when you do have players who could do that. Like
Yeah,
you saw how he was in. I mean, he's still playing. He's still like Chelsea's best performer in my
yeah,
opinion. But but yeah, you can see how it works out in Argentina. Like it's also the system. Like I feel like Chelsea and like Pochettino, they don't know what they're doing. Like I question the players they're getting. I'm like I know they bought what's his name, Casey Palmer. or
Cole
something.
Palmer, yeah.
Cole Palmer. Yeah, like
That didn't
40
make sense
million.
because it
I
was
don't know.
basically the
Like
same as Madueke.
I just don't understand it. You're spending like I guess money's nothing to them, but like even forget about money. Like he was in the Man City reserves. Like he's a good player, but just risky. Like you can't bank on these players solving your issues.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest hit or miss will be, like, uh, Mudryk, to be honest,
Yeah. I
because
mean,
he
he
was
looks like he
80,000,000.
has ability, but he's
Yeah,
not.
because he was 80,000,000, and you probably could have got somebody more proven, like, I don't know, like Kvaratskhelia. I don't know if he would cost, like, 100,000,000 or something, something close to that, but you probably could have got somebody more proven than, like, a 19-year-old or 21-year-old, like, who's played, like, 1 season in Ukraine.
Yeah, there's that argument, and there's a simple argument that like maybe this tactically they're not in the right place because Arsenal wanted Mudryk, and I feel
Yeah,
like if Mudryk went to Arsenal, like you can't like we'll never know, but like I feel like been doing better. He'd have more chances even to play. I know he's now getting chances because they're Chelsea's more desperate,
yeah,
but I feel like Arsenal would have been a better environment for him. But
yeah,
look, Arsenal got Trossard, who's experienced and he's performing,
yeah.
whether he's starting or off the bench.
Yeah, and he doesn't mind coming off the bench as well because he's like, 27, 28. He's experienced. He's coming from
Interesting.
Brighton, so
Yeah, it's
he
interesting, man, because maybe Chelsea could have benefited from him more than Mudryk, just
yeah,
because Chelsea more so need like more experienced players. Like I feel like Sterling is really the only experienced player they have in like the midfield and attack.
that's why Gallagher is like the captain because he's like the only experienced guy in the midfield.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, obviously you can see on my chart Chelsea's not on there, and deservedly so because they're just like nothing right now.
yeah,
Although I won't judge them to like fully until like Nkunku comes back, but like did the Chelsea board have enough patience with Pochettino? Or I feel like Pochettino still got to get some results. Like it's Bournemouth.
yeah. I know they definitely need to be doing better. Like even in his part, like I'm not taking any excuses away from him. Like or I'm not gonna give him any excuses. Like
Yeah,
he has to be playing better. Like at the end of the day, like Chelsea have good players on the field, and they should be beating teams like Bournemouth.
yeah, for sure. I mean, Jackson is kind of a still a question mark. I feel like there's too many question marks on their team, which is like you said, Sterling's the only like okay guy I can depend on, and his form is even up and down like we saw last year.
That's the issue when you don't have someone who's already proven. You're gonna have to rely on certain players, and these players, even though I'm sure, like I think Jackson's a good player, and I think he's good enough to be in Chelsea. But when you don't have a proven player who's like delivering, then one of these young players who are inexperienced are going to have to take on that role, and they might not be ready for it.
Yeah,
Like
and
that's
obviously
why,
they have
like
no chemistry like with playing with each other yet either.
yeah, like even like I think if Liverpool lost Mohamed Salah this summer, like it would be like very damaging for them. But even so, we still have Luis Diaz,
Yeah.
who's like he can like bear some of that like brunt of like losing Salah.
Even Diogo Jota, like they're already proven that they can score like 10 plus goals in a season, like or
Yeah,
15 goals in a season. But yeah.
exactly.
And McAllister, that was a great buy as well because he was already proven in the Premier League, like he's already shown it.
Yeah, 35 million is a steal for someone like him.
Yeah. Uh but yeah, as for top 5, I think that's a solid order. I think Arsenal plays Spurs next. That'll be a good indication of where the teams are. I mean, I think Arsenal is still better than Spurs just because they have more talent. But Spurs are playing like that free flowing type of football that they can still beat anybody. Kind of
Yeah,
similar to Brighton, to be honest.
yeah. I think the one thing Spurs are lacking is a consist. Like, of course, they can put Sun up top, but still, like, you wonder, like, those. I mean, they're doing well, but they're gonna struggle. They might struggle in the future with goals. And in terms of like, Sun's a
For
goal
Charlie
scorer.
Goat,
Yeah, Richarlison performed today, but he's very inconsistent.
Yeah,
He's someone who has to step up, and I think if he does, like they should they should be able to compete with like Liverpool and Arsenal, and I mean maybe like Man City, like as in like they should try to go for the title. Like that shouldn't be like an unreasonable goal in terms
I
of
don't know about
having it
title, but
as
like
a
top
goal.
four. Yeah,
I mean, at least having it as a goal,
yeah,
because I mean they should be going into every game thinking they can win.
yeah. I mean, their lineup is solid. I mean, Romero and Van de Ven is like a pretty good partnership, and then obviously Udogi and Poro is like a pretty solid wing backs as well. So I think the
Yeah,
only like question mark is like Sar if he's can be consistent enough throughout the season, but
I
he's
think he
shown like
will.
so
Yeah.
far. Yeah,
He has very good like chemistry with Basuma. Like they balance each other out really well.
yeah,
And like it's just like crazy, like because for the most part, it's a very similar team. Of course, Madison is there, but they also lost Kane,
right.
and then but like I think Ange made like big signings that like transformed the team, like Van de Ven, like I said, Madison, but even just bringing players who were already in the team, I think that's the main like Pape Sarr and Basuma, they were already in the team before, but Ange just like unlocked them. I know
Yeah.
Basuma was struggling from injuries the year before, but still, even when he was playing, like he felt like he didn't have that impact that he's having now.
I mean, you could argue like United would wish that they were playing as good as Spurs, to be honest.
Oh yeah, of course.
And he's only been there what like 3 months, and Ten Hag's been there for like what 14 months or something like that. So
Yeah,
I think that's the main issue with United is like they still don't have they're still trying to play like defend and counter, which is like weird for the amount of talent they have.
yeah. They're always depending on like when they do win, it's like their key players. Like it's always them. It's not like a team play type thing where it's usually like individual brilliance, like
Yeah,
from either Rashford, Bruno, or Casemiro.
yeah.
Literally no one else. Like
And we're gonna talk about Champions League later, so that could be a problem for them in the group stage. But in terms of sixth, I think Newcastle should take sixth. Actually, I don't know. I'd probably put them seventh, maybe. What do you think
yeah,
about
I
that?
I I'd put them ahead of Brentford.
Yeah, I mean they
I'd put
just
them
beat
ahead
them,
of Brentford.
so it was a pretty good
West
performance from
Ham
them.
will still give them the respect of 6 because losing to Man City, I wouldn't say it's like I wouldn't just put that as a bad thing for them. It would happen to any team.
Exactly. Uh, like in terms of who probably could be on the list, it's probably Aston Villa.
And that's it
Yeah,
because the other teams, like I'm looking at them and yeah, no. But Aston Villa have a very good attack, and I think they can solve their defensive issues too because just by the names in their defense, like Konsa, uh, like Carlos, and Paul Torres, it's quality.
yeah. At least going forward, I know Pau Torres is better like distributing the ball. He's looked kind of shaky defensively, to be honest.
But he should improve. Like
Yeah,
he's quality.
yeah. And obviously, I mean Martinez solid. So
Yeah, they
I
have the
mean,
team. They definitely have the team for top 8.
yeah. I mean, and then they're gonna start playing a conference league too. So I
Yeah,
guess they should probably be a contender to win it. I'm guessing, just like West Ham were last season.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah, and I think they have a better team than West Ham last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's good for the top 8, right?
Yep.
What's
Uh,
what's what's the
yeah, yeah,
main
yeah. I was
contention?
thinking like Brentford and Aston Villa switch, but
Yeah, you could
let's,
probably argue that. I think,
yeah,
especially no Tony, no somebody else got injured too. I think, right? I'm not sure.
I can't recall, but just going by like how Aston Villa is improving in their performances and just the simply the players they have in their team. And Emery's been there, like he knows how to make things work. Like I think I think it'll show.
Yeah, and then Buemo was scoring like I think he scored like every game until the last one, so he finally cooled down.
Yeah, he's good though.
Yeah, maybe Thomas Frank will get that United job.
I don't know if anyone can solve their current issues. We'll see.
But yeah, De Zerbi should probably get the United job.
If he wants it, they gotta pay him a lot of money if they want to convince him.
Yeah, I mean, I think United will stick it out obviously for the rest of the season, unless like they're really like 13th or 14th or something like that
I don't
throughout the
see
whole
that
season.
happening. Yeah, I don't even
Yeah,
see Chelsea being like 13th, 14th. But yeah, top eight might be tough for both of them. Like we'll see. I mean, they could easily improve. Things start working out for them because they have the players, but only time will tell.
yeah. And Chelsea plays Villa, so that's a good indication of where you are in terms of a league table and all that. So
Exactly.
that'll be a good test for them.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I think Aston Villa will probably win that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Chelsea struggle putting goals in, so Aston Villa won't have to worry about that as much. And Aston Villa's attack is lethal.
Yeah,
Like Leon Bailey, Watkins, Diaby, like
yeah.
probably missing some people. Even like
Even the Scottish Gerrard.
oh yeah, McGinn. It's quality, man.
But yeah, they look solid. Liverpool plays West Ham. That's a good game as well. West Ham, that's tough run of fixtures. City and Liverpool back to back.
Yeah. Wait, did West Ham play City already, Phil?
Yeah, they just played.
Oh, you're talking. Okay, I was about to say. Yeah,
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 yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, they have to play City and Liverpool back to back
yeah,
with a Europa League game in between.
yeah. It's going to be interesting, like seeing how these teams like deal with being in Europe, because obviously, like when you look at their starting 11s, it's like it's good. It's definitely good enough to compete and win. But like, do they have like? I'm more focusing on Newcastle because obviously Europa League and Conference League, the competition isn't as
Yeah,
it's not as competitive. But Newcastle, they have a good 11, but do they have like a lot more than that, which you're gonna need for the Champions League?
yeah,
And I know they're in the group of death.
yeah. We'll get to that in 1 second. Let me just pull it up. Take this off. Let's see. How does it feel being the team that's not in the Champions League now?
It sucks, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's not that like motivating. Like just being in. I know, like especially in the early stages of the Europa League, you're playing the types of teams you're playing. Like when you're Liverpool, like you should be in the
Yeah,
Champions League. Like I can already like seeing this list like pull out a number of teams that were much better than.
yeah.
It's sad.
I mean, hopefully it gets to 5 team. I mean, not hopefully, but like I guess like just it just makes sense that there would be 5 Prem teams with that
Yeah,
amount
I
of money
was
that
I
they
was gonna
spent.
mention that to you, like that, especially like come on, like it's clear now that the Premier League teams, how they've been doing in Europe the past few years, like they'd consist of like most of the teams in the quarterfinals and even in the semis, you'd have like usually at least two of them,
Yeah,
like, and they're getting the talent from the other like leagues, like
yeah,
makes sense to have at least one more team. I'd
yeah.
say
Because you're
five would
looking
be
at this.
good, maybe six would be pushing it, but five for sure.
Yeah, not even like looking at the third team in each group, but just even like the second team. Like even like let's say like the group I don't know E or H. Like Porto's the second team, Feyenoord's the second team, like a Group B team, or like what's it called, a Pot 2 team. So
Yeah.
pretty some weak competition. So yeah, but in terms of Group A, who you got advancing?
Well, I mean, it makes sense. This obviously Bayern Munich, I like they have to get first, like they just
Yeah,
have to. And Man United on paper, technically, but Galatasaray has improved a lot this season.
yeah.
They have some quality players.
They have basically like all the Premier League rejects.
Yeah, but
They
they
got
also have some of their own. Like they have Icardi, he's still quality.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have like
Even
Icardi, they have
even
Zaha, they have
Koglu, he's one of the best Turkish players. Like,
okay. They have
dude,
Ndombele, I think. They have who else do they have? There's somebody else too. I'm forgetting.
yeah, there's others. I just out of the top
I
of my
think
head.
what's his name? Dries Mertens.
Yeah, they have Dries Mertens. Yeah, so like I don't know, bro. If United's not like playing the way they should be, like they can easily like it can easily be an upset.
Lucas Torreira, Angelino.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, these are solid players.
Yeah,
And also, like Galatasaray, like obviously we can't compare the Turkish league to the English Premier League. Like Galatasaray is not going to have this. Like when they're coming out for the Champions League, they're going to be like
yeah, that's their main
fully
focus.
prepared. Like that's their main focus and everything. United, like as much as like the Champions League should be like a main focus, they're going to have to balance that out with the Premier League.
Yeah, even Copenhagen. My cousin lives in Denmark, so he was going to a bunch of games last season. I think they drew against City, they drew against Dortmund at home. So like even like these European night away games, they're always tough. Like I'm sure you
Yeah,
know about Liverpool, they would go to Salzburg and tie, or go to Red Star Belgrade and tie, or lose even sometimes, right?
yeah. A lot of these teams like Copenhagen and even like Salzburg is a great example. Like they sometimes just have hidden talent,
Yeah,
and you don't know like fully how they're gonna play until you see them play
yeah.
against like
Uh,
the top teams of Europe.
yeah. I mean, Galatasaray, I'm sure their home crowd is going to be. They're always crazy.
That's another factor. Yeah,
You got to travel all the way to Turkey, and you're going to get like you're going to see like McTominay under pressure. You don't want that.
yeah. I mean Galatasaray, especially with their fans and like their history, they're a club meant for the Champions League.
And God forbid they have Maguire or somebody out there, or Johnny Evans.
Yeah,
I feel like Lissandro, he plays and then he's like, yeah, let me get that sub at like 75 minutes.
yeah. It's interesting.
I don't know why, but I think even Varane's injured too, right? He didn't play the last couple games either, so
Yeah,
I think the first game is Bayern for them, so that's gonna be a tough game.
yeah. It could set the tone.
Yeah, especially if they get wrecked in Munich.
Yeah.
I could see them losing like 4-5-0.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, like
You're gonna
that's
see a lot of
definitely a
this.
possibility. Below Bayern, even I don't know because I saw their game against Bayer Leverkusen.
Leverkusen was good.
Leverkusen is good, and
Yeah,
I was going to say like maybe Bayern should like be playing better, and I'm sure they should. But Leverkusen has improved like a lot under Xabi Alonso.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'll probably go honestly Bayern and Galatasaray. How about you? Gonna stick with United, stick with ten hairs.
It's tough. Like uh, hmm.
Harry Kane hat trick in the first game.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. It's problematic if they have a big loss. I'll just say Galatasaray just to make things interesting because it's a real possibility.
Yeah. Obviously, obviously everybody, United is the favorite, but we're just, having fun.
Yeah,
But Group B looks like the honorary Europa League group in the Champions League.
it's actually kind of
Arsenal,
tough to choose from, other than Arsenal being first.
yeah, because even Lens I saw on the table, they're like 18th or something in
Yeah,
France.
they're struggling. They're struggling. So I would just based on that, I would just now focus on Sevilla and PSV.
I'll probably just say Sevilla just because they always turn up in Europe,
Yeah,
or they try to get third place and try to go Europa League.
yeah. I mean, I think having Ramos is a big help for them. So let
Dang,
us,
Saka's got to watch out for that.
yeah. They both have solid teams though, Sevilla and PSV.
Yeah. Although PSV lost a couple of their players as well, like
Yeah, they lost Sangare. He's a big loss.
Sangare, Gakpo. We played obviously that was in January, but yeah. And
I
then
would
even
say Arsenal.
Chavi Simmons as well. He went to Leipzig, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I would say Arsenal and Sevilla.
I'm not gonna lie. Arsenal should get at least like 4 wins.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Was it 6 games, right? So yeah, was that 12 points? They should be getting at least like 12, 13 points.
I mean they better. I mean that's usually how you get first. Anything lower is like a risk.
Yeah. Uh, just technically, Arsenal haven't been that good, and recently haven't been good in the Europa League. But obviously, they're balancing their starters and bench and not really taking it that serious. But I think they have good squad depth this season, and you already saw Arteta rotating. I don't know. What do you think about that Ramsdale Raya rotation?
I mean it's good to have. Like I think eventually one of them will be able to distinguish themselves as the number one keeper. I have a feeling it's going to be Raya because I think he's just a better shot stopper and he's better with the ball. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's good to have two like good keepers rather
Yeah,
than a good thing.
it's not a bad thing. Yeah, I guess. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see who plays FA Cup, who plays Champions League, who plays on Tuesday or Wednesday whenever Arsenal play. Would it be Ramsdale back? Or yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting that Raya started this game because we're still Premier League games, so it's
exactly.
showing that like yeah, Ramsdale might not be a for sure starter in the Prem.
Yeah,
So we'll
because even
see what happens.
Spurs next weekend. If let's say Ramsdale plays Tuesday, then there's going to be a big question of who starts against Spurs. So and
Yeah,
then obviously, yeah, the questions will continue from then on. But yeah, in terms of Group B, I would probably go Arsenal and Sevilla as well. I think you would agree with that.
yeah,
And then Napoli, Real Madrid. That seems kind of easy, I guess. In Portuguese teams always kind of surprise people sometimes. I feel like in the Champions League, but like Napoli and Real Madrid are kind of the class of that group.
yeah. Madrid. I've been watching their games and they've been kind of like Liverpool, like the
Yeah, just
less
like getting these last minute winners
yeah,
and all that. Yeah,
yeah, less goals and like yeah, getting last minute winners and it's always Bellingham getting them. Interesting. Vinicius is also injured for now.
yeah.
We'll see when he comes back, but yeah, Madrid and Napoli should definitely be the top two.
You
And
don't
I would
believe in
just
you don't believe in your doppelganger,
no, I don't.
Jose Lu?
He's not. He's good. He's good. He's good. He's good.
I don't know about good. He's like average.
No, I think he's a good finisher. And he's good like especially the way Madrid will be like piling the pressure in games. Like we'll definitely see his potential compared to when he's with a small team and maybe
Yeah,
not getting as much service. But he's a striker who needs service, and Madrid have plenty of players who can give him that.
yeah. They've been playing like a diamond formation recently. Like, I mean, they obviously have the best midfielders in the world, so it makes sense why they want as many midfielders on as they can.
Yeah, yeah. I would say Madrid first. Just like you can't, like I can't. I have no reason to say they wouldn't be first, and Napoli
You
for
don't
sure
believe in
second.
Napoli?
No, I do believe in Napoli. Napoli could get first for sure, but just say Madrid. Like this is their tournament. They always
Yeah,
perform for the most part. So I'd put them first and Napoli a close second because Napoli
and
have like pure quality. Osimhen's for me like top five striker like without a doubt in the world right now.
yeah,
Kvaratskhelia is quality. Their midfield is quality within Giza Lobotka and Zelinski.
Zielinski
I think.
usually. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
have a
kind of
good
funny how
team.
Anguissa was like at Fulham and now he's like on one of the best teams in
Yeah.
Italy.
And that's like shows like the quality of their coach
Yeah, and I think they switched coaches, right?
from
Th-
last year.
I think they did, right? They switched coaches from last year.
I
They
didn't
fired
even
the
know.
coach after the first
Yeah.
season, or after they won the Italian. Was it Serie A?
Mm. I didn't even I didn't notice. It just shows that they're still continuing to play good. Like
Yeah, I mean they have quality. The only like they probably got a little bit weaker defensively because they lost Kim Min Jae.
yeah for sure. And I honestly like they're not gonna have that. The league won't be as clear cut as it was last year with Napoli. Like, I mean, we didn't even know Napoli would be able to do what they did last year, but
Yeah.
Napoli won't be able to repeat that. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna
Inter
be
and AC
there's
have
a
definitely improved.
yeah, and Juventus is good. Again,
Yeah.
they struggle with the point deductions and all, and having to deal with all of that. So yeah, I mean, I thought Juventus would have a even upper hand with now Pogba, so he's dealing with his own issues right now. But from what it looks like, because I watched the game, I mean, we can talk about Inter when we get to Group D. So we'll just leave it at that. I think Napoli's still one of the top teams in Italy, but we'll just say Madrid first and Napoli second. How about you?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably would you say Madrid second or first?
First.
First, yeah, I would probably stick with that. Uh, yeah, they got too much quality.
Yeah,
Although Kepa might be a liability in Champions League. I'm not sure.
we'll see.
But yeah, Osimhen might get like 2 or 3 goals against Real Madrid, but we'll see. And Militao's out as well, right? He tore his ACL, I think.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
least they have Rudiger, but another injury in the defense would be costly.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, obviously, like you said, Vinicius is out, so they're not as strong, maybe as last season. But obviously, they added Bellingham. Did you expect him to be that good so early?
I expected him to be good, but I didn't expect him to have like the goal contributions that he's giving, like in showing that he's a clutch player and like he can solve the problems when they need him. Like when they need a player to solve the issue, like he can be there and score that goal. I know he could. He scored goals in Dortmund. He scored a decent amount of goals, but looks like in Madrid, like he's even on another level.
I think because he has more support behind him as well, like Chouameni and usually Cruz or
For
Camavinga.
sure.
They're stopping any counters or anything. So he's kind of freedom right now. I think to get in
Yeah,
the box. Yeah, and he's built like a 6'3", 6'4" dude. So
yeah,
he's
and
dangerous
it's
on set pieces as well.
yeah, because he definitely has a more attacking role in Madrid than in Dortmund.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, Real Madrid, Napoli, Group D, probably one of the weaker groups. Uh, for me, I'm looking at Inter and probably Sociedad. I think Sociedad's actually good. Uh,
Hey, Benfica's good though.
Benfica's good too, but I mean, yeah, it'll be tough between. I think Inter is improved from last season, and they made the Champions League final
I
last
think
season.
Inter
So
first for sure in this group.
yeah,
Like obviously, if nothing crazy happens, like they thrashed Milan this weekend like 5-1.
yeah.
Like it was crazy, honestly.
I think Mkhitaryan had like a hat trick or something, or he
Yeah,
had
he
at least
almost
two
scored.
goals.
He had 2 goals. He almost scored a hat trick though.
Yeah,
And I think like the big thing I noticed is like Marcus Thuram. He's
yeah,
a
he's
beast
good.
himself. And
He's
his
an
his
upgrade on
partnership with Martinez is like crazy.
Lukaku.
Yeah, he has pace and like good shooting. Like and he's smart and like good dribbling. Like he has it all in a forward.
Yeah,
His goal was like amazing.
yeah,
But yeah, between Benfica, I mean Salzburg, like they always have like quality players, but I just feel like they're always inexperienced. Like I looked at their team, like I think the oldest player in their lineup was their goalie, and he's like 27. The rest of the players are like 23 and under. Like I
yeah.
can't tell if this is like a proper like team meant to compete for Europe or just like an academy team, like the best academy team in the world. Like
It's like Leipzig's development team.
yeah, exactly. And Leipzig is arguably Munich's development team. So, but I know I'll put more respect. Leipzig is a good. Yeah,
But yeah,
I don't know. I'm
even
saying Inter first, and like, we'll get. Okay, what do you think about Sociedad?
so, yeah, I actually like their team. They have good midfielders. Is it Zubamendi and Marino? They have
Yeah,
good like Spanish. Like those guys start for the Spanish national team.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Kubo has been really good this season as
Yeah,
well.
that's
Yeah,
yeah. It's tough. I mean, Benfica have like what's his name? Like Rafa Silva.
yeah,
Um,
Rafa Silva.
Rafa Silva. They have good defense, Otamendi and Antonio Silva.
Yeah.
I have to remember their names. Is like a lot of Silvas and stuff.
It's like
Yeah,
that. Yeah, he's like the young Portuguese center back, right? He's supposed to be like the next big thing.
yeah,
He's basically the next Ruben Diaz or whatever.
yeah. John Mario's good.
Joe
There's
Mario's
someone in
still
the.
balling. How
But
old is he? He
honestly,
got to be like 33 or 35.
no. He's maybe like he's early 30s. Yeah,
He just had that early shaved head.
yeah. But honestly, I maybe I can agree with you. Sociedad is second. I can see that.
I could just see them score goals like on the other teams.
You also have a good defense. Lenormand is good.
Yeah. Is David Silva still there or did he retire?
I don't know, but I don't even think they. Yeah, I'm not sure. He hasn't been. I don't think he's been like starting though recently.
Yeah, but anyways, they have a lot of young talent. Even though Yarzabal is pretty quality.
Yeah,
But yeah, in terms of that, yeah, intern Sociedad, Group E. What are these? What are these? What are these crash groups? Probably go Atletico and Lazio.
yeah. Feyenoord is good, but I think Lazio is just more experienced. But they have like players like Immobile, Luis Alberto. Yeah, good defense. Yeah, classic Italian defense.
Yeah,
Lost
yeah,
Milinkovic Savic, but I don't know if it'll. In terms of this group, they still have enough. I'd say.
yeah. And I feel like Celtic always is pretty bad in Champions League.
Yeah,
They always get wrecked. Uh, yeah. Group F, it's the main course, the main group that everybody will be watching. Uh, Obviously a lot of teams that have added a lot of transfers in terms of PSG and Milan. Newcastle is gonna be hyped to be traveling across Europe playing Champions League football. How do you see this group playing out?
it's honestly very hard to tell because like even like PSG look like this standout team based on the players they have, but right now they're not even playing good in France.
Yeah, they just
Like,
tied against who was it, Nice?
yeah, it seems like they're still depending on Mbappe when they have like other players that should definitely be carrying some of his burden, like
Yeah,
Ousmane Dembele. Obviously, Koulibaly's new. Like, I think he just got subbed on in that last game. But yeah, and they have Gonzalo Ramos. Still haven't seen much from him yet.
Asensio's actually been like one of their better players.
Yeah, I mean they have the players for sure to put them as they should be getting first in this group. I guess
Yeah,
it's too early to say. Like I don't want to judge them fully on how they're doing on the league right now. But in terms of the players they have,
at the end of the day, they still have like the best player in the world. So
yeah, they have Mbappe. Even if the other players aren't performing, Mbappe can just win in the game on his own. Like,
especially like Dortmund, I don't think they have the best defense, and Milan they just let up 5 against Inter, so they don't have the best defense either. Newcastle, that'll be interesting test at St. James. I feel like all these teams are like really strong at home, but
yeah, I
it's
mean,
gonna depend on the away games.
yeah, I mean, I'd say like between Dortmund, Milan, and Newcastle, it's pretty even. Like in terms of like the players, like the quality and stuff, it's pretty even. Like I can name a number of like quality players in each of their teams.
Yeah.
PSG definitely stand out, like
Honestly, I
especially
think I
with.
might put Dortmund fourth.
I mean, it could be honestly.
I mean, obviously any of the Dortmund, Milan, Newcastle could get fourth, but I feel like
Yeah,
for me, they're the fourth best team.
yeah. I mean, I could see like teams struggle with like because Milan. I know that Milan got thrashed 5-1. I
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
think that's like
they
can
still have
represent
quality.
like how they like. I think that it's just like a bad game.
Yeah,
But like their attack, Giroud is still like quality, especially with his back to goal. He like unlocks players like Rafael Leao. Pulisic is playing good with them, and I mean the rest of their team is solid.
yeah. Even
Newcastle
Chukwueze
is like
came on. He's pretty electric as well.
yeah, Newcastle. Like obviously we've seen the Prem. They're good. They had like the first few games they struggled, were, like kind of unlucky, but like in terms of the way they're playing, it you can tell there's still like quality. Like their midfield, Guimaraes, uh, Tonali, and Joelinton. It's
Tonali
quality.
going back to Milan.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Hopefully, he's not booed. I don't think that's. But yeah, I mean,
They
Newcastle
just
also
wanted
have
the 70
Isaac
million.
and Wilson. Like they have a lot of goals in them. Gordon is pacey, Barnes pacey, like Almiron. Like
It's just gonna be funny seeing their team in like the San Siro.
yeah, I mean, it's been a long time in the waiting.
But yeah, who you got second? It seems like you're leaning towards Newcastle.
I just don't know because they do lack like the depth. I feel, but then again, like looking at the other teams, and I don't know. I'd say like if we're just basing it off their best lineups, it's kind of a Premier League bias, but I kind of put Newcastle second.
Yeah. But
But it's
we've already seen them kind of struggle in the league, which is like if you're like the manager, do you try to get like top 5 again or top 4, top 5, which will probably be Champions League, or are you trying to get to like the quarterfinals of the Champions League?
yeah, that's the thing. Like I feel like when you're in these big competitions like Champions League and the Premier League, and you have a chance like on in both of them. Like I'm not saying to win or whatever, but like to at least like do well relatively. You have to kind of to an extent go out all out on both of them.
Yeah.
Like in terms of the Prem, like you're not gonna have Champions League every week, and like maybe rest some certain players who need more rest. Like it's gonna have to be like a balancing act. But they're gonna, for the like relatively speaking, they're gonna have to go all out in both competitions.
Yeah. Especially with that group.
Yeah,
For me, I would probably put I don't know. I feel like physicality is always a issue for some of the European teams. Like we already see like Loftus Cheek doing pretty good for Milan, and he was like a pretty average guy in Chelsea.
yeah,
So I feel like he's so maybe Newcastle takes advantage of that physicality because they run for sure. They have like they had their high intensity playing.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, and they're solid all around. Like, and I think with the way Eddie Howe like has his team playing, they're gonna be putting on the pressure.
yeah, I could see them
And
definitely upset. Like I could even see them upset like Newcastle, PSG, like at home. Like at least get a
you,
draw.
you never know. I think like for the most part, like Mbappe should cause Newcastle more trouble than Newcastle causes PSG. But
Yeah,
yeah, you never know. Like if PSG don't like start playing the way they should be playing when the games start happening, like it's gonna be tougher even then. But I just think like they have a solid defense now. Ugarte in the midfield is like he's a destroyer. He's like someone
yeah,
they
that's exactly what they
honestly they
needed for a
missed.
long time. Yeah,
Yeah, they haven't had a player like him. And I think like their attack like is insane. Like it's basically like these players have all played with each other in France. They're all like young, either they're approaching their prime, and they have Gonçalo Ramos too. So even if one of them isn't working out, then like they have him. So it's
yeah, they have like
yeah,
5 good attackers and then like another young guy from Lyon. I saw they
Asensio
bought.
too. Like yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, I would probably go PSG and Milan.
I mean, I feel like it can go either way. So I could agree with that.
Okay, City, Leipzig. I don't know. We need to talk much about this group. City should get like they're probably gonna get like 7 wins out of this group. So
An extra win.
yeah, Holland will score like 20 goals in the 6 games.
Yeah, that's how it should turn out.
Wasn't it last season against Leipzig? They won like 7-0 on aggregate or something like that.
Yeah, right. And I think didn't they tie like one of the games and they just destroyed them in the other game? Yeah,
Yeah,
that could easily happen again.
yeah.
Leipzig,
City. Yeah.
Leipzig though, like especially compared to the other teams, like they definitely have more quality. Like
Yeah,
and
Leipzig actually look good this year. Like Olmo looks like he's taking like a little bit of a leap up. Xavi Simmons looks good. Who
yeah,
else they got? Even
yes.
Sesko, like their striker. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. And even Semakin is a good defender. I wanted him in Liverpool, but
Yeah.
so yeah, Man City first, Leipzig second.
Yeah, not
It
much
was
to
the
say about
easiest
that.
one, honestly. Yeah,
It's probably the biggest gap between like the top 2 and the bottom 2. But
yeah.
probably similar to this group as well. Barcelona and Porto should probably advance. Although, Barcelona has been dropping the Europa League recently, but that would be a major embarrassment if that happened again this year.
Honestly, they shouldn't get anything lower than first in this group. Like respect to Porto, they're still good, and then there's their first place in the league. And whoever they lose, they seem to be able to replace them with players just as good. So I think they should get second. And
Pepe's back.
yeah, Pepe's back. So I think Barcelona first and Porto second. I know Antwerp have like a mix of like talented youngsters and like also like old guys like Alderweireld. It's not for me. That's not enough to qualify to the
Yeah.
next stage. And Shakhtar Donetsk is like
Are
it's
they
just the
even allowed
Russian
to
league
play
is
in Kiev,
the
or
Ukrainian league is kind of weak. So,
yeah? Are they even allowed to play in Ukraine right now? Playing's
yeah,
probably playing
I
somewhere
don't know
else.
what's going on there. I'm sure they're having games, but like yeah, they could influence the. They could actually have a positive influence, maybe like, but I don't know if you can count on that. Like
Mm,
in terms
yeah.
of like quality in football, I think Barcelona first and Porto second.
Yeah. And I knew a lot of the foreign players from Ukraine left as well. Like they had a bunch of Brazilians and they all like went to a
Yeah,
different
yeah,
league. Yeah.
yeah. They don't have
So
Mudryk.
yeah. Hey, he scored against who was it? Real Madrid?
I think yeah.
Who did he score against? Yeah, he scored like 3 goals in the group stage and Chelsea bought him for 80 million. But yeah. I think that who's your early who would you say is like your top 2 in terms of like actually winning the whole thing? Obviously we don't know like the draw and the route to the final.
Top two, I think I'll put. Can I put it? I want to say it's tough. Yeah, actually, top two, Man City for sure number one.
Yeah.
I
Bayern
think when
Munich.
Vinicius comes back, definitely Madrid's in that convo. PSG get things together, and Bayern Munich would right now Bayern Munich second.
Yeah.
Barcelona even honestly Barcelona could too.
Yeah. They have the
Yeah,
talent.
yeah, and I mean there's teams, but like if we're gonna say a quick top two, top three right now, I'd say Man City, Bayern Munich, and
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
PSG still midfield still a little weak, I think.
It is. I can't recall. Yeah, it is. They have Ugarte and who's the
Vitinha
other
and like
Coutinho. They're good, and then the other ones there's a drop off.
yeah,
So yeah, Man City,
Soler and Fabian Ruiz, but yeah.
Man City first, Bayern second, Madrid is second too. Honestly, Barcelona's up there. Barcelona's up there because
Barcelona would be up there if like we haven't seen like Xavi or like the team like step up in the Champions League yet.
yeah. I mean, I just feel like in terms of the players they have to be up there.
Yeah.
It's like Lewandowski. Ferran Torres seems like he's doing better now.
Yeah.
Can't recall how many plays for some reason, but De Jong, Pedri, obviously, Gavi,
Gundogan,
Gundogan,
Rafinha.
yeah, Rafinha. And these players, like some of their wingers, like Rafinha, they don't even start some games. Like they'll be in the bench. Yamal,
Lamine Yamal, yeah.
yeah.
You got a 16-year-old starting over you.
I think their defense also is good, and Ter Stegen obviously is quality. Like Kunde, I don't know how long Araujo is injured, but he's a big loss to them until he comes back. Christensen's good though.
Yeah, it says he's not coming back till mid-October.
Yeah, which isn't terrible. Like
Yeah.
that's not that bad. So I mean, I think Barcelona is for me top 5.
The only funny part is
Right.
Romeu. He's like from
Yeah, I mean,
Southampton.
yeah, but he's proven to be a solid like holding player.
Yeah. Even Felix has been playing well recently.
Oh yeah, that's the guy I was forgetting. Like
Felix
João
and Cancelo.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, Barcelona for sure is like top 4, top 5.
Yeah. They probably need to improve their finances to at least get to like the quarterfinals or something.
Yeah.
Any surprise team?
I
I'd
mean, I
say
would say
Inter
Inter, but there
again.
wouldn't be a surprise anymore because they got in the finals last year.
Yeah.
Surprise team,
Arsenal.
Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal in terms of like if they could make it past the quarterfinals, that would be like a huge step up.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Like I don't even remember the last time they've been.
I mean, yeah, it depends on the draw. Obviously, you could get like Bayern in the round of 16, which seems like it seems like it's destined to happen, especially when they got Harry Kane.
Well, no, Arsenal should get first place and Bayern should get first. So they should
Okay, yeah.
avoid each other.
Yeah. Hopefully get like Benfica or something.
Inter is great. Inter is crazy though.
Yeah.
Surprise team though. Like it has to be surprise. I don't know if Arsenal's like surprise like to win it, maybe to win
Yeah,
it.
they would be like, 5th or 6th probably on the top,
Yeah,
top 8 teams probably,
I would
so
say Arsenal. Yeah, because
yeah.
I mean the other teams like come on, I don't think Milan's winning it. I don't think Newcastle's winning it. Like if we're gonna pick surprises,
Ye
Atletico. I know the way they play, like they can get up there, but to ultimately win it, I don't see it happening. Yeah, Napoli's a little weaker than last year, in my opinion. Inter's better than Napoli,
yeah. So, yeah,
but they
maybe
can be a surprise too, though.
maybe just, like, surprised to get to, like, the quarterfinals would probably be, like, somebody like, I don't know, Leipzig or somebody like that.
Yeah, yeah, agree.
But, yeah. I mean, yeah, Arsenal is obviously, like, the finals in Wembley, so Arsenal and, City obviously trying to get back to Wembley
Yeah,
2024.
that would be a good final.
But, yeah, depends on the draw. Maybe we'll see Kylian Mbappe at Wembley. That would be crazy as well. PSG finally win it, and then he leaves.
I mean, he's got the players now around him that I feel like like he's actually happy to stay.
Yeah. I don't think he extended his contract though yet, right?
Yeah, at least for now, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, obviously, like with someone like him, he probably has in mind that if he wants to win Ballon d'Or, maybe staying in the French league wouldn't be the best idea. He'd probably have to score like close to 50 goals, something like that.
And probably like win the Champions League.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah. But yeah, I
so
think
Madrid's
that's
always going to be in his mind.
yeah, Real Madrid. But and they need a strong
Yeah,
they kind of missed out on Harry Kane. They probably didn't really go after him that hard because of Mbappe. So, yeah.
yeah.
Osimhen at Real Madrid would be crazy.
Yeah, Osimhen or Mbappe, like
Yeah. But yeah,
they need
thank you for
to.
joining me. I'm looking forward to a bunch of these groups, and I'm looking forward to Liverpool playing like their under 21 squad against whoever, what group, who's their best opponent in the group.
I haven't even looked. That's how much I'm not looking forward to it. But obviously, like once it gets to the knockout rounds, like
Yeah, then it gets pretty good.
like take it. They should definitely take it seriously because Premier League is very competitive. Like there's perhaps a better chance of winning the Europa League than getting top 4, depending on
Yeah,
how the season's going.
yeah. I mean, it would be an embarrassment if they don't get out of the group. So yeah,
Yeah,
like most teams. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe, and maybe we'll see you guys in a week or 2 weeks. See what happens in the first round of games. We need that Harry Kane smashing Man United.
yes.
All right, see ya.